Hello there. Today we will be talking about creating invoices on the lead page, and sending them to your clients for payment. You can create one-time or recurring invoices, and the clients can pay for them using a credit card or ACH payment. To create a new invoice, open the Invoice tab on the lead that you wish to invoice. Now select a template to use. The invoice templates can be managed on the CRM administration page. The selected invoice template is now shown and you can continue to edit the invoice items. The client's billing information is pulled automatically from the lead fields. If needed, you can also change the invoice due date by clicking on the calendar icon. Let's edit the invoice line items now. We'll start by entering the item's description and price here. If needed, you can click on this button to add an additional line item. Next, we'll add a discount as a percentage amount. Alternatively, you may also add the discount as a flat amount. Next, we'll add the sales tax. You can add a sales tax as a flat amount or by destination. In case of the latter, the system automatically applies the sales tax for the client's location. If you need to add additional taxes, simply click on the tax button here. Finally, we'll also add a shipping fee to the invoice here. The invoice is now almost ready for sending, and there are just a few more steps to complete. Here you can add custom notes about the invoice. And here you can select the accepted payment methods for this invoice, and the appropriate payment gateways. We'll click the Create button now to create the new invoice. Now that the invoice has been created, we can click on this button to get a preview of the invoice. Here is the preview pop-up where you can confirm that the information in the invoice is correct. We can click on this button to get a live preview of the invoice, as it will appear to your client. Here is the live preview page. When the client is ready to pay for the invoice, they can click on the Pay Now button, and then pay using a credit card or ACH payment. Let's go back to the invoice now, and send it to the client. To send the invoice, we'll simply click on this button here. We can send the invoice by SMS, email, or both. If needed, we can also add a new contact to send the invoice to. Now that everything's ready, we can click the Send button to send the invoice to the client. Let's also create a recurring invoice now. We'll start by clicking the New Invoice button here, and filling in the invoice line items in the usual manner. Now that the invoice is filled in, we'll click on this button to make this a recurring invoice. We can schedule the invoices in many different ways. As an example, let's create a recurring invoice that repeats every month for 12 months. Now that the invoice schedule is set, we can also update the recipient information and the invoice due date if needed. Finally, we'll click the Create button to save the new recurring invoice. You can view the history of your invoices on the History tab. The History tab shows a list of all your invoices and their statuses. The Action column on each invoice also allows you to edit, void, preview, or send the invoice. If you would like to learn more about client invoicing, feel free to visit the link in the description below.